Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to everyone. We are from Group 5 will present on Case 3, Tesco versus Sainsbury. Firstly, I would like to introduce my teammate. Me, myself, Nur Shuhaida, Nur Aishatul Nadia, Nur Suhaila and Siti Nur Amira. Next is the outline of the PowerPoint. Introduction, protagonists, megatrend, major issue and symptoms will be presented by me. Analytical tools will be presented by Aishatul. Suhaila will present on alternative and evaluation of alternatives, while Amira will present on decision criteria, decision chosen, and recommendation for chosen alternatives. Move to the introduction of Tesco. Tesco was founded in 1924 by Jack Cohen and opened its first store in 1929 in UK. Few years later, Tesco Stores Holding Limited were traded at London Stock Exchange. Through acquisition, Tesco grew more than 800 stores in the year 50s and 60s. In 1973, Cohen resigned as chairman and was replaced by Leslie Potter and abandoned the philosophy of Cohen. Pile it high and sell it cheap. Because of that, Tesco stagnated with a bad image. And in 1977, Tesco launched Operation Checkout, which addressed price reduction and centralized purchasing for all stores. 20 years later, Terry Leahy became CEO and introduced Tesco The Way, which focused more on people. Currently in UK, Tesco has 5 store formats and it operates in the food and non-food retailing. Its market share is 31.35% in food retailing segment, made Tesco become the market leader in the UK. While for Sainsbury, it was established in 1869 by John James and Mary Ann Sainsbury, and it is the oldest retailing business in UK. In 1973, its shares were traded at London Stock Exchange as J. Sainsbury Public Listed Company. Currently, Sainsbury has 3 store formats and it also operates in food and non-food retailing. It was the market leader up till 1995 when it lost its place to Tesco and currently is holding about 16.73% market share. Next, protagonist for this case is Terry Leahy. He is the CEO of Tesco from 1997 until 2011. Where he became the CEO, he adopts the marketing slogan which is the Tesco way. It means Tesco shifted from a focus on the corporation to a focus on people, both employees and customers. In 2000, he mentioned about their strategy to provide a mix of format in different locations. He is the one that enforced Tesco International Growth Strategy. Megatrends that having a significant impact on retailing industry for this case is shopping reinvented. This megatrend is about the evolving notion of consumer engagement alongside the increase in technology. Tesco is the first retail company in the world that's shifting from single channel to multi-channel retailing. Prior to this, Tesco used single-channel retailing in their business operations, where Tesco only has physical store in operating their business. But current situation is different, where one channel sale is not sufficient for Tesco to maintain their revenue growth and remain competitive in this industry. Retailers adapting this strategy, which offer customers a choice of ways to purchase their products via both online and offline channels. Therefore, it is more flexible and convenient for consumers to purchase goods, which helps dramatically boost sales. It has been proved that in 1994, Tesco has operated on the internet and offered a robust home shopping service and launched Tesco.com in 2000. Our group agreed that major issue for this case is to stay competitive and meet the demand in retail industry. The symptoms that we have identified from the case is first, the UK retail industry has become highly concentrated. In the case study mentioned that the top 4 store-based retailers that dominate the market in UK are Tesco, Sainsbury, Asda and Morrison Supermarket. Based on the official statistics in UK retail market overview, Tesco PLC market share is in the first place and there is a significant gap between Tesco and its nearest competitor, which are J. Sainsbury PLC and Asda. Although there is a significant gap between Sainsbury and Tesco, it can be seen that Sainsbury is in the state in increasing their market share to compete with Tesco. It is because while Tesco remains dominant in the retail, there are signs that Tesco is experiencing increased competition when the consecutive year share increases below the average in the last year. Second, Tesco needs to prove its ability to meet increasingly challenging consumer demands. This is because we know that consumers are increasingly expecting retailers to engage with them in ways that suit their interests and lifestyle. Consumers' preference always change, and not only retailer need to fulfill the customer demands, but supplier also involved in producing products that can fulfill customer needs. It is known that customer is very important in generating the company profits and revenue growth. Third symptom is Tesco emphasized low price for products. From the article, it stated that Tesco philosophy is pile it high and sell it cheap, which shows us that they really emphasize in low price products. Besides, Tesco also launched Operation Checkout, which included price reductions and centralized purchasing for all its stores and succeed to increase its market share by 4% within 2 months. Last but not least, shift from focus on the corporation to focus on people, both employees and customers. Stated in page 5 that Tesco implies the Tesco way in shifting their focus from on the corporation to focus on people, specifically to employees and customers. The CEO also remarked in the company's annual report that Tesco is very obsessed with their customer needs and expected to provide a mix of formats in different locations to meet special needs of customers in each location.
Next, we move to the analytical tools. In order to evaluate Tesco, we have used tools that highlight how Tesco currently operates, which are Porter's 5 forces and value chain analysis. We choose to focus on retail market of Tesco instead of other services because in our opinion, the main business of Tesco is retail market. As we can see that they lead the retail industry in UK and also rank as top 6 international retail market. If we mention Tesco, what will come first in customers' mind is the retail services provided. Let's take a look at the value chain analysis. Firstly, inbound logistics. This is the first step in the value chain analysis, which is to evaluate the process of product being received from supplier. For Tesco, they decided to draw goods from suppliers into regional distribution centers for preparation and delivery to stores. This is to cover collection from supplier, reduce cost and improve reliability. From the regional distribution, they were delivered to stores. In addition, Tesco also used factory gate pricing, in which it separates out the cost of transportation from the purchase price of the product itself, which it will reduce the cost. Therefore, because of that, Tesco are able to sell their product at lower price. Next, operations. Tesco developed the first Tesco store in 1929 and continually grew until it owned more than 800 stores during 1960s. Next, in 1977, Tesco launched Operation Checkout, included price reduction and centralized purchasing. Centralized purchasing is when the control of all the purchasing activities undertaken by one headquarter or department that allow a volume purchasing. It is an efficient inventory control that can reduce staffing costs. Besides, Tesco also divided their business into 5 formats which are differentiated by size and range of products and customized to specific segments. In 2007, Tesco has total of 1,988 number of stores, in which dominated by Tesco Extra of 735 stores. Next, outbound logistics. Outbound logistics tell us on how the final products being distributed to customer. Tesco described their distribution strategy by an inclusive offer, in which they consider all level of income consists of upper, medium and low income level. Tesco also can be found in busy city centre, small shopping precinct and petrol station. As the technology continuously developed, Tesco is the first company that offer home shopping services who makes their product available in website for customers to purchase online. According to statistics, the percentage of online shopping in UK increased from 4.9% in 2007 to 6% in 2008. Next, marketing and sales. Tesco is well known for its loyalty schemes and was the first to launch a club card system. Every 3 months, holders receive a club card statement offering discount coupon that can be spent in store or online. By issuing club card, Tesco also gained very rich data on customer behavior. The study conducted by Turner and Wilson 2006 revealed that majority that 78% of shoppers own the Tesco club card. Out of this 78%, almost 70% of them strongly agreed that club card influenced the frequent visit to store. Next, services. Tesco was the first retailer in the world to offer a robust home shopping services in 1996 through its online platform. This strategy is effective in order to fulfill customer demand and make them easy to shop without need to go to the physical store. Today, Tesco operates in the world's largest food home shopping services as well as provides consumer goods, telecommunications and financial services online. To conclude, this analytical tool helped Tesco to analyze the relationship with the suppliers and the level of control on the product quality. Based on the case, we can see that Tesco operate in a very competitive retail market. They must be different and moving faster to make sure that they lead the market, especially in UK. Therefore, we think that Tesco should know the level of competitiveness of their business environment from many perspectives. Therefore, we choose to do Porter's 5 forces analysis. Firstly, competitive rivalry is high. The UK retail market is very competitive since there are numerous companies in this segment. For example, globally, Tesco ranked 6 behind Walmart, Carrefour, Home Depot, Metro and Royal Whole. They are competing over price, products and promotions. In UK, Asda and Sainsbury are the key competitors in this segment. Currently, Sainsbury show positive growth trends even though they are behind Tesco. The company shares of Asda and Sainsbury also keep increasing. This portrays that Tesco's market leadership position is threatened. The intensity of competitive market was felt since 1990 when Asda positions itself as the price leader and later moved strongly into the non-food area also. Next, supplier power is low. In retail market, there is a higher availability of suppliers, thus Tesco can choose which supplier they want. Suppliers also always try their best to secure their business contract with large supermarkets. This is an opportunity for Tesco and their competitors because it can strengthen their position and experience positive negotiation in order to get the lowest possible price from suppliers. It is a direct benefit to the suppliers because the retailer buy high volume of goods. However, it will undermine their bargaining position due to the availability of many suppliers in the industry. Thirdly, is the buyer power is high. The bargaining power of customers is also relatively high as the switching costs in the retail industry are low. Hence, consumers can easily switch to another retailer if they are not happy with Tesco's product range, customer service or pricing policy. The products offered among the seller also have a slight difference and are more standardized, so the customer have the power to change to another seller. The bargaining power of buyer also improved due to the emergence of technology where all the details are transparent and available online, such as the product quality, reviews, news group and other instantly available information. Besides, the preference of buyer influence how the company plan and manage their strategy because the objective to fulfill what customers need. Next, we move to the threat of substitution, which is low in the retail industry. Groceries are a necessity to every household, therefore substitutes are very minimal. For Tesco, the possible substitution that might happen in retail market are small convenience stores, small grocery store in rural areas and organic shops. However, based on the strength that Tesco possesses, which is quality products at considerably lower prices and the financial sustainability, the possible substitute do not pose any serious threat to Tesco. Besides, with the financial stability that the large company have, they can easily fulfill what customers demand for in terms of operation, distribution and others. Therefore, substitution is not a major challenge in retail industry for large company. Next, trade of new entry, which is low in retail industry because it is not easy for other business to enter. It requires huge capital investment to establish the presence and brand name. They need to consider the competitiveness that will be faced because of the presence of giant companies. Other than that, the new entrants also need to require large expenditures in advertising to establish branding, reputation, quality in the mind of the consumers, consumer confidence and trust. In short, from this analysis, we believe that the majority of threats to the players in the industry come from the existing main players rather than new entrants.
Decision criteria. In order to choose between the two alternatives, there are some decision criteria that Tesco need to consider. Firstly, cost saving offered by each alternative. The company need to consider which alternative can save more money. Next, the decision must be based on the ability of the company to increase sales and also its market share. Tesco also should consider alternatives that can improve the competitiveness advantage of the company. Lastly, in order to make a decision, Tesco also have to look whether the strategy can meet the market demand and satisfy the customer needs. In order to cater major problems that have been faced by the Tesco, there are two alternatives that can be pursued by the company. Firstly is status quo, in which
they continue the operation as usual with their current growth and do not make any major changes of their current business strategy. This is because Tesco already have a strong brand name and its own loyal customer due to their lower price offered that address various levels of income. Besides, Tesco already have a strong financial position that they already as a market leader in the retail industry in UK. In status quo, few things that Tesco will continuously doing, which are, firstly, they will regularly acquire small business to expand their international businesses and complement the organic growth strategy. Second, Tesco will always continuously involve in evolution in which they will provide a mix of format of store in different locations to meet special needs of consumer in each location as mentioned by the CEO in the case study. For example, in 1997, Tesco formed an alliance with Esso Petroleum Company Limited where Tesco operate the store under the express format. Okay, so for the second alternative is to go for the backward integration. Backward integration can be done by integrating companies' operation with supplier in order to have control on the supply chain. This strategy offers opportunity to the business to increase their competitive advantage by offering lower price and improve the quality of their current product because they can control the production of the raw material until the production of the product end. Moreover, based on the Portal 5 process, we also can see that buyer power is high and in value chain analysis that has been explained before, we can see that quality and cost of the product play important role to fulfill the customer need. The symptoms identified also include that Tesco implies the Tesco way, which shift focus from corporation to people with include customer. When the customer bargaining power is high and Tesco also prioritize the customer's need, therefore it is important for Tesco to grab the opportunity to fulfill their customers' need, preference and satisfaction by providing high quality and low cost product. Thus, our group agree that backward integration can enhance the product quality and give the power to Tesco to control the cost. Okay, so for the first one is status quo. The pros of status quo is Tesco do not need to incur additional costs for a new major plan. By pursuing status quo, Tesco can avoid any additional costs related to the new strategy. They only involved in issuing usual costs that associated with their current strategy such as cost to acquire small business. Next, they can maintain the profit because of the strong brand and distribution. The best case scenario if the company pursues status quo is the company can maintain to be one of the top company in the UK because they already have strong brand recognition by customer and already have their own loyal customer. It is stated in the case that Tesco have strong financial position which they manage to have consistent growth in basic earning per share and held the biggest market share about 30% in the UK compared to competitors Sainsbury and Asda which both at about 60%. By pursuing status quo, Tesco can continue to attract new global customers with current growth strategy. Since the Tesco mentioned that they are regularly to acquire small business by entering new market, this can help the company to introduce people to another geographical area to company's product and transform them into the products buyer. Next, the cost of this alternative is first, loss of opportunity to improve current market share. If the company do not take the advantage of the opportunity and do something in which they remain with their current strategy, it may decrease the value of the company. Next, they will lose the opportunity to improve the current competitive advantage to improve their current product. They may be left behind because currently there is high competitive market and their competitor always find way to become the top player in the retail industry. Next, they may be unable to meet customer satisfaction as customer demand may change. The shift in customer demand creates risk for the company if they don't take necessary action to fulfill their demand. Okay, the second alternative is backward integration. The advantage of pursuing backward integration is Tesco can increase the control in terms of product quality and quantity and can avoid supply disruption. They also can increase the efficiency and gaining direct access to the material that they need and also to ensure the sufficient number of stock. Second, by backward integration, Tesco can increase profit by cutting the cost of middlemen. They can reduce the transportation cost and also reduce the delivery time. Tesco will be able to control the entire supply chain and can reduce wastage, transportation costs and other costs incurred before the raw material are being delivered to the company's warehouse. Third, Tesco will be able to strengthen the company's competitive position. Company can also use backward integration as a way to gain a competitive advantage over their competitor because Tesco able to control the quality of product that meet the preference of customers. Next, the cost of using this strategy is Tesco need to incur substantial amount of cost to take over the supplier. It is because acquiring the manufacturer will require huge investment as Tesco need to purchase part of the supplier chain or production facilities. Next, it is also will cost Tesco to follow the technological change of the supplier at that time. It means that when Tesco acquire the supplier, they also must be able to adapt with the supplier trend, such as when there is change in technology used by the supplier to stay relevant in the industry. And the last one is high bureaucracy. When Tesco acquire the supplier, it means that they are acquiring the workforce of the supplier as well. This will increase the size of the company, thus bringing in new policies for the employee. Therefore, there is the tendency of miscommunication to occur.
Next, decision. Based on the decision criteria, it can be concluded that Tesco should go for backward integration as their growth strategy in order to remain competitive and meet the demand in the retail industry. Even though the second alternative may incur high costs compared to the first alternative, we believe that Tesco are able to manage their expenditure as Tesco have strong financial position and it is expected to give high return to the Tesco in the future. Besides that, if Tesco pursue backward integration, the company are able to address the changing needs of customer preferences. Not only that, the company also able to improve their internal control, especially the quality of the product, and make sure that the company have adequate number of supplies. For the recommendation, we have come up with the immediate plan, short-term plan, and long-term plan. Firstly, the immediate plan, which the plan is within the period of 3 to 6 months. Under this phase, we recommend the company to make a research on suppliers market, which it can help the company in choosing the most suitable suppliers to acquire. So the company also can assess the possible risk attached to the company and find solutions on how to manage it. Besides that, the company also need to do cost-benefit analysis to know how many costs need to be allocated and what benefit that they get by pursuing the alternative. Not only that, the company also need to study on the legal matters to smooth the process of acquiring suppliers, for example, the rules and regulations attached to that company. Next, for our short-term plan, which the plan is within the period of 1 to 3 years, we suggest the company to acquire supplier for fresh food section. For example, Tesco can acquire their current suppliers such as Redmere Farms that supply vegetables, Bay Fishmonger that supply fish, and Wheeler's Farm that supply poultry. We recommend the company to acquire supplier from fresh food section because to ensure the quality of this perishable product. Besides that, we decide to choose Tesco to acquire supplier for fresh food because it is one of the section that contribute the growth of the company. It is also to control the quality of this perishable product that mostly demanded by the customer as it is basic need. And at the same time, it can increase the competitiveness advantage of the company. Next, the company also need to make a proper agreement with the selected suppliers. This can help the company to make sure that the contract between the selected suppliers is clear and avoid bad consequences that might happen in the future. Lastly, for our long-term plan, which the plan is within 5 to 10 years, we suggest that Tesco should evaluate the strategy that they have done by evaluating the customer satisfaction with the current operation. This can be seen through the number of customer complaints that Tesco receive through their website or social media.
This can help the company to improve any inefficiency that happened during the implementation of the backward strategy. Besides that, under long-term plan, Tesco can try to become top supplier for fresh food to other retailers. Since the company managed to monopolize the suppliers, Tesco can try to take this advantage by supplying the perishable product to other retailers, which this can help to increase the profitability of the company and increase their market share. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.